Remember what we're up to? So last week we spoke about, and I can't remember, the brachot before Kriyat Shema. Now we're going to learn about the halachot of Kriyat Shema. Shema Yisrael. So in fact, how many words are there in Shema Yisrael? Does anybody know?
6. Oh,
6,
well,
7.
The whole Shema.
Oh, so very good. So the first pasuk in the Shema, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, is in fact 6 words. But in the whole paragraph, the 3 paragraphs of Shema, V'ahavta, V'haya, and V'yomer, in the 3 paragraphs is 245 words. What does that represent, that number? Not too much. But 248. What's 248?
The organs?
Oh, so there's a Ramach Evarim. There's 245 organs, which is also corresponding to the 248 positive commandments. According to the Sod of the Kabbalah, there's a lot of deep kavanot in the number of 248. The mitzvot of the Torah, which is the positive commandments, there's 630 mitzvahs, but there's positives, do's and don'ts. 248 positive ones. And there's 248 limbs in the male body. But there's only 245 words in the Shema. So how many are missing?
3.
3. Thank you. That's why we repeat at the end of Shema, we say another 3 words. What do we say?
Emet.
Hashem Elokechem Emet.
Yeah.
Hashem Elokechem Emet. Whenever you pray with the tzibur, you always repeat those 3 words. Hashem Elokechem Emet. You end off Hashem Elokechem. That's 245.
That's why the Chazan doesn't say it twice. Correct?
Yeah, we say aloud together with the Chazan. Hashem Elokechem Emet.
Right.
When you're Yachid and you're doing Shema Yisrael al Mita, you say Kel Melech Ne'eman. Shema Yisrael. What's Kel Melech Ne'eman? Also 3 words. That adds up to the total of 248. Kel Melech Ne'eman is Rashi Tevot of Amen, which means Kel Melech Ne'eman is a truthful God. Now, we're going to say a few short halachot. How many times do you need to say Shema Yisrael every day?
3 once. 3? 3.
3.
4.
Another guess?
4.
All right, when 5
or 4?
4. Okay, where's your 3 from? Where's your 4?
So 4 is in Birkat HaShachar, I think.
When? Once in the morning, yeah.
And then
4
once in
korbanot.
Shachrit. Sorry?
When in Shachrit? Korbanot?
Before Shachrit.
Yeah, so there's one before Shachrit by the Korbanot. That's a very important one.
Then
Then
one in
Shachrit, that's 2.
And then Arvit.
3.
And then one before you go to bed.
Excellent.
But
Joe.
the one if you say, I thought actually that Arvit, can that be considered as the Shema before you go to bed?
Okay, so very good. Let's get it clear. It's a little bit confusing. So according to Torah, Midoraita, there's 2 mitzvot. Once Baboker, Shachrit and Arvit. B'shachbecha u'b'komecha. However, Chachamim Tagal Derabanan, they will taken another 2. That means there's 4 you need to do. 2 in Shachrit, 1 in Arvit, and 1 before you go to sleep. Exactly like Joe said. That's the Derabanan. That's very important mitzvah, and each one has a different effect. And there's the level of hierarchy of how much it affects a person in the chashivut, in importance, and the mala gdola. All right, what would you say is the highest one? The morning, the night, the evening, the shachrit?
I say the night before you go to bed.
No.
Because that's a protection.
Okay, so you're right, it has a lot of importance, but according to the Ben Ish Chai, the mala of the one before you go to sleep, that's the lowest in Madrega. That's like the 4th one.
Mm-hmm.
In 3rd place, what would you say?
I assume Arvit.
It's Arvit, exactly. And in 2nd place?
Shachrit.
Which one?
Shachrit.
Which one? There's 2 in Shachrit.
In, before Amidah.
So in fact, the one before Amidah, that's the highest one. That's like the main one to say is the one in the morning. And the second one is the one in Korbanot. According to the Kabbalist, it's very important to do that one. Don't miss out. If you need to miss out Korbanot, make sure you do the Shema Yisrael. Even if you just say the pasuk Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, just say that. If you have a bit extra time, say also the first paragraph after. That is the second one most, and the first one is the one in Shachrit, the main one. Then the one in Arvit and the one before you go to sleep, like Joe said, the very important of Ol Malchut Shamayim. Now, just to say, when is the best time to do Shema Yisrael? Best time. Or when is the time of Shachrit one?
Just before Nets.
3 minutes before Nets.
Oh, all right, we got it. Everybody knows that. Yeah. Before Nets is the best time. What time is Nets in England? It changes very time. What is it now?
6:30?
No, today it was about 7 something.
Oh, okay, so that's not early. No, you can make it. Also in Israel, it's very late. For us, it's about 6:30. So you can make it. And says the Shulchan Aruch that it's mitzvah gedola. And he says, V'scharo, Ben Ish Chai says, Scharo atzum, which means it's tremendous reward for saying the Shema Yisrael at the right time, the best time. Mitzvah min hamuvchar. And in fact, I think it's the only time in the whole of Shulchan Aruch that he says, Scharo meruba me'od. That means there's a lot of schar for saying Shema Yisrael at the right time. And the best time, like you said, is to do it before the sunrise. Now, in winter, it's very easy. 7 o'clock. Most people are up there usually on a weekday. But in the summer, it can be very early, 4 o'clock, sometimes even 3 o'clock. To get up in the middle of the night, that's really a bit difficult. So at least in these winter months, a person, to try and make a little bit of effort, it's worth it. Such a tremendous reward. In Israel, it's much easier. Because Nets is always between 5:30 and 6:30. That's always, it doesn't change.
Say now, for example, a shul is going to get to the Shema at like 7:40 or 7:30.
Yeah. Shabbat?
No, in the morning. And it's
Weekday?
In the weekday.
Okay.
And Nets is at 7:11. So
yeah.
So it's better to do the Shema when you say you're going to do the Shema at home?
Yeah.
Because at 7:11 you're like in the middle of Sukkot Zimra, let's say.
So what do you want to know? You want to know?
Is it best to do it at home?
Well, before the Nets.
Yeah.
So what you can do is, you know what? I want to look it up. It's a very interesting question.
And which one
is asking?
According to the Ben Ish Chai, which one is the high one if you do that? The one in the optimum time or the one with Shachar?
Okay, I don't know that. I want to find out. It's a very interesting question you're asking. Meir is asking, I'm saying the best time to do Kriyat Shema is before Nets. So if you're in a minyan that davens at 7, and Nets is only, let's say, 7:30.
Which, by the way, is pretty much every single minyan here right now.
Okay, so the first Shema Yisrael that you say in Korbanot, that's definitely you should make that as close as you can to Nets. And say the full paragraph of the Va'ahavta. And then say the main one before the Amidah. Which is the best one? I don't know. But that's definitely what you should do. And I'm going to find out about that. I like that question. Okay. We're going to move on to say more few malachot. Before you go to sleep, you say Shema Yisrael and Arbit. When's the latest time? When's the latest time in that you can say the Shachrit, the Shema in Shachrit?
Shachrit.
Yeah, when's the latest time?
It needs to be less than halfway through the day of daylight.
Of the morning. So it actually needs to be a quarter of the day. That means within 3 hours. So in wintertime, when Nets is very, very late, you're saying 7:30 is Nets. So that means you can say Kriyat Shema in the morning till maybe 9, 10 o'clock. So even if you wake up late or Shabbat morning or something like that, you can still do Kriyat Shema at the time. But in the summer, you need to be very careful because if Nets is already at 2 or 3 in the morning, it could be by 8 o'clock already you missed the Zman Kriyat Shema. So you need to be very careful with following the Luach and find out when is the last time. Because in fact, you've missed the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema, but you should say it, but you only get mitzvah like you're reading the Torah, like saying other psukim. You don't get the great schar and the reward and the ma'ala of the mitzvah of Kriyat Shema. You missed it. So you got to be careful with the time.
In terms of times, as Sfardim, can we go by the Gra times here?
So we go listen, you should do Lachatchila and B'diavad. Lachatchila in the Oraita, you try Magen Avraham. Yeah? We go try the Gra time. We go by the Gra, but it's much better Lachatchila for at least the Shema Yisrael to try and get the Magen Avraham. Even if only the first Shema Yisrael is Magen Avraham, at least get that in Magen Avraham time. Okay? Yeah. When is the latest time to say Arvit? Shema Yisrael? So you should at night, yeah, you should try and do it until Chatzot. If you missed Chatzot, you can do it until Alot HaShachar. According to the Ben Ish Chai, even if you missed Alot HaShachar, you can do it until Nitz. Which means that, let's say somebody who forgot, he was out at a function or a wedding, bar mitzvah, and he came back late, he missed Arvit, he forgot. He's in bed now, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay? He can still say Kriyat Shema Shel Arvit. Even if he's gone to sleep and he's woken up and he's up at 6 and you realize didn't they say Shema Yisrael, you can still do Shema Yisrael. Alot HaShachar until Netz HaChama. The only collision would be that Shachrit, you can start saying Shema from Alot. And Arvit Kriyat Shema, you can say B'di'evad until Netz. So what you should do, you should say the Arvit one before the Netz and the Shachrit one after the Netz. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Now I want to say the main halakha. And everyone has to understand this halakha because we can't finish the shiur until you get this. This is the most important halakha, kavanah, for Shema Yisrael. You have to have a mitzvah to say. What should you be thinking about when you say Shema Yisrael? Kavanah.
The words.
Yes, the words of the kavanah. You have to think about, I'm doing a mitzvah d'oraita. Lekayem mitzvah taseh liyached et Hashem. And you put your hand over your eyes. How do you put your hand over your eyes? Not like this. Like this. You do a shin with your 3 fingers. There's a shin. And you have a yud. With your 2 little fingers, you put it over your eyes. Touch your eyes. And then on your forehead, you put a shin. That's how you put your hand over your eyes. And you keep your eyes closed until when?
The Dalet. Of the...
Till the Dalet. So the Ben Ish Chai says you should use it until the Dalet, but also until you say Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto. And then take down your eyes. Now, the Kavanot. The six words. You have to think about 3 things. 6 words are divided into 3. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. That means I'm thinking about, I'm doing now mitzvah taseh. Shema Yisrael means listen and understand Israel. You talk to yourself, Shema Yisrael, I am Israel, I'm supposed to think and understand. That's first kavanah. All right? There's going to be a test afterwards. Second kavanah is Hashem Elokeinu. That is Mekabel Ol Malchut Shamayim, which means Hashem is our God. He is king and I am his servant. I'm coming to serving God. That is Hashem Elokeinu. And the third kavanah is Hashem Echad. That means God is one. What does that mean? There's no other force. There's no force of good and force of evil. No, there's one force. There's no din and rachamim. It's Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. God is one. I don't believe in anything else. So quick recap. Shema Yisrael, listen and understand. Second thing is Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem is our God. He is the king and I am the servant. And the third one is Hashem Echad. That God is one. There's one force and one power. That is what I'm thinking when I say Hashem Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Hashem, Hashem Echad. You have to have that kavanah. If you just mumble the Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, you didn't think about it. Hey, I just realized the rabbi said I need to have kavanah. What do? You do it again. Yeah. We don't do it straight away. You have to wait, pause for 15 seconds, and then repeat it. Ben Ish Chai said better than pausing is to just say the first paragraph. Ba'ahavta Hashem Elokecha until B'shoch B'chal or B'sharecha. The first paragraph takes 15 seconds. Say that, and then go back and say Shema Yisrael with kavanah. What are the 3 kavanot? Who can repeat it for me?
Listener as well.
Very good. Which means listen and understand. Go on. What's the 3 kavanot?
God is our God. We are the servant.
Yes. Excellent.
God is
Number
one.
3. What does it mean God is one?
Why, God is the Almighty?
Yeah. What does it mean he's one?
There's no other.
That's it. There's no other force. There's one force. One God. There's no good and evil. There's no other power. I don't try to believe in anything else. There's no power of money. There's no power of government. There's no power of people, of any other magic or no. There's no power of Google. Only God. Hashem Echad. Oh, that's the 3 kavanot. And if we don't have it, then you go back and repeat it again. Okay. Maybe we'll end off with this, with the Dalit. When your eyes are over your mouth, you should imagine the words in it. Where your eyes are closed, just imagine the words Shema in front of you. Shema, Israel, Hashem, Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Imagine those words in front of you, and imagine the ayin big and the dalet big. Ayin and dalet is ed. That's a witness. That's Amakabel or Malchut Shamayim. Imagine them being big, and you say it like that in pause. Shema Israel. Say it slowly. Say every letter. Shema Yisrael, Hashem, slowly every letter of the word. It's very important. And when you say Hashem Echad, so Ben Ish Chai says you mechaven that you're willing to give up your life for Hashem. B'misirat nefesh. And even if you need to do for God, for Kiddush Hashem, you're willing to do it. And there should be kapara. Kapara for all your sins. Yechaper al pesha'av. And in between Shema Yisrael, you should pause after Baruch Hashem. Hashem Echad, pause. Then Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, pause, and then Va'ahavta. And make sure that you can hear what you say. Don't just mumble. Say Shema Yisrael. Not everyone has to hear, but you have to hear what you're saying. Okay, that's it for tonight.
Rabbi.
Hope you enjoyed this year. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Mo. Mayor, thank you, Joe. Thank you for your questions.